Welcome to Grasping the Word. The verse we're going to look at today is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 9 and 10. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the firstfruits of thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. Today's broadcast, we will notice three key words or expressions in the verses we consider. The first word, and probably the most important word, to catch the meanings of verses 9 and 10 is the very first word of verse 9, which is the word honor. Secondly, we will look at the word firstfruits. And thirdly, burst out. In this setting, I do believe that the preceding verses of chapter 3 of Proverbs are important for us to read. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Giving of our substance to the Lord, or of our wealth, or the first fruits of our increase, requires trust in the Lord. So we're commanded to trust in the Lord with all thine heart. And one of the evidences of how much we trust in the Lord is how we are able to honor him with our substance. Secondly, giving to the Lord at times will be contrary to our own understanding. When we're under a little bit of financial pressure, which we all are at times, and we have obligations that are greater than what we can do, and the Lord impresses on us to give a little extra in an offering, or maybe a great deal extra in an offering, this really does require leaning not unto thine own understanding, but we are giving in a way that will acknowledge the Lord, and he will direct our paths. That means bless us in the road ahead. I trust the Lord to do that. To give unto the Lord our substance requires trusting in him. And giving at times will go contrary to our own understanding. But it's certainly a way to acknowledge the Lord. Which leads us to our first key word of Proverbs 3, 9, and 10, which is the word honor. According to the commentary of the New English Translation Bible, the imperative translated honor functions as a command, instruction, a counsel, or exhortation. It is a strong suggestion. It is a strong appeal to follow this and to give of our substance and of the first fruits of our increase in order to honor the Lord. In my view, to honor the Lord goes beyond the paying of the tithe, which is different than an offering. It's what we owe, or the giving of an offering. Do not expect to reap all the benefits of plenty and bursting out promised in verse 10. Unless we give in the right spirit and purpose. This is all about honoring God. The Lord does not need your tithe and your offering. He is not your dependent. You are his. You and I rely on the blessings of the Lord. The psalmist says that we are not to forget his benefits, and we must not. Every day, the Bible said, a psalmist said, he loadeth me with benefits. Do not forget that. We do not expect to have all the benefits of having plenty and bursting out unless we can give in a way that honors the Lord. The Net Bible states this means to give him the rightful place of authority. The Apostle Paul elaborated on giving to honor the Lord to the saints at Corinth when he said, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity. That would not be honorably. For God loveth a cheerful giver. It's interesting to note that the apostle uses the word bountifully. This is implied in Proverbs 3:9 with the word honor, and also in verse 10 with the words plenty and bursting out. The Hebrew word from which we get the English word honor is if taken in a negative sense, means to place a great burden or weight upon us. But in a positive sense, it means to heap glory and honor upon another. In other words, we are to bountifully give unto the Lord, not just financially honoring him, but we do it, we heap praises on him, we heap honor upon him, we heap our offerings upon him. The terms used in Proverbs 3 are agricultural in nature when we use the word increase, which refers to the yield or the product of the earth, such as our crops or harvest. But the word substance pertains to one's wealth. The word plenty infers overflowing, such as pictured in the last phrase, which speaks of the process of pressing grapes, in which the upper receptacle is filled with grapes and the lower one catches the juice. The scripture informs the harvest of grapes would be so great that the lower vat would overflow with juice. This is indicative of what one would expect if they give in a way that honors the Lord.